Match day 12 for UCL Fantasy is here, and in today's video we're going to be running through my team selection and of course giving you all the data and player suggestions you need. Now, before we dive into today's video, of course, if you do enjoy any of the content that you see on the channel, please be sure to like, comment, and subscribe as we are trying to hit 12,500 subscribers by the end of the season. Starting off then, taking a look at match day 11 and how we got on. The Tuesday was a lot better than the Wednesday. Of course, we had Rogers, we had Emi as well, a player that we absolutely love on this channel. This guy continues to get us attacking returns every single week. However, the Wednesday didn't quite go to plan. I forgot to do my goalkeeper transfer, completely forgot, did the other players, just completely forgot about the goalkeeper, and of course Alisson went and got 12 points. Naturally, of course he did. So I think that probably takes our total to 50 points bench this week, purely due to, kind of life getting in the way, or of course me making silly mistakes when I'm doing this in the 7, 8 o'clock in the morning when I've just woken up and I haven't really got my brain on, as you can clearly see. So that's definitely something I'm going to take into next season, but we're still in a pretty decent position. We did get a red arrow, but we're in 13k. It's not bad to say it's our first season going at this, and I think we're in a pretty decent place going forward as well, heading into the second round, of course, the quarterfinals. Before we move into my transfer targets and the betting data, let's take a look at how the team would line up if we were to make 0 moves heading into the next game week. And as you can see, pretty decent across the board, to be honest. It's not a bad team. Yes, of course, the triple Dortmund isn't looking overly exciting with, of course, Lille away. There's a few players that I do, of course, want to target, and those are, of course, going to be the ones that I'm looking to potentially replace. Guirassy, Adeyemi, and Schlotterbeck. Also, I think Dembele away at Anfield is not going to be an easy fixture, to be honest. Rudiger as well probably falls into that bracket. They're probably going to be the players that we are going to potentially look to get rid of this week with our transfers. Before we head into the transfers then, let's look at the betting data for this week. This is on decimals. I think it makes it a lot more easier to see than, of course, going for the fractions. But the games we want to be targeting this match day is, of course, going to be Barcelona, Benfica, Inter versus Feyenoord. We're probably going to be looking at Arsenal and Aston Villa as kind of the more one-sided games. The other ones probably could go either way, so we're probably not going to look to kind of bring any players in with our transfers for those. Maybe somebody in the Liverpool games, considering theirs isn't too bad and kind of the next best one, but it's still over 2.3 decimals for that one. In terms of the transfer targets that I am looking at for this week, obviously I spoke about Schlotterbeck being one of the players that I do want to potentially replace. One of those replacements is going to be either Trent Alexander-Arnold or Saliba. Obviously, these two sides have the best odds in terms of clean sheets for this week. Arsenal, I think, are around 52% probable for a clean sheet in match day 12. Of course, we already have Gabriel, so I would, probably say one of them is going to miss this game out, considering how far Arsenal are ahead on aggregate already. And if that was to be the case, I'd still like to get some decent coverage from that Arsenal defence, because I do feel like they will keep a clean sheet. Trent's in there as well. Liverpool's defensive data isn't too bad. It's around 28%. It is more for him with the attacking returns and so much what he can offer, especially within a really decent home fixture like this one. And I feel with Liverpool taking that 1-0 advantage to Anfield as well, we're probably going to see him progress and Liverpool progress to the next round, unless PSG can produce something magic away there. In terms of the other players that I am looking at, we are, of course, going to replace those two midfielders like I spoke about, Adeyemi and Dembele. Of course, we also were looking at Guirassy, but I couldn't really see anybody that I felt would massively improve the team. Of course, Harry Kane would be the ideal player, but there's just not the budget that I would, I'd have to sacrifice a lot to get Harry Kane in, and I don't think it's really going to be worth it. I feel like Bayern probably will score one more, and then maybe you'll see some players potentially rested. As you can see, though, the replacements that we've got lined up are, of course, a game in the balance with Barcelona, but of course, as we saw with the betting data, they are favourites heading into that one. So again, getting another Barca attacker in there to kind of cover us off. We've already got Rafinha and Lewandowski, so maybe we don't need that extra one. We could also go for Çalhanoğlu with a great fixture against Feyenoord. However, with them being comfortably 3-0 up on aggregate, it doesn't look like they're going to put out a strong team. There's probably going to be quite a bit of rotation from some of the leaks I've seen on Twitter. Again, we'll have to wait and see whether or not he features in those leaks. He's in some, he's not in others, so it doesn't feel like the ideal player to go for. Moreno is the one that I think could be a great fun pick to have this week, and one that I am kind of leaning towards, quite strongly towards, to be honest, as well, because it just could be a fun pick, to be honest. having a little bit of fun. Like I said, really, really good data for Arsenal in terms of the projected goal numbers against PSV for this week. He's playing out of position. He is playing as the number 9. And I do expect him to play now. You know, Arsenal, I think, will put out a relatively strong side, and I feel like he will probably be one of the players that will feature in it. And I feel, you know, if he's up front, getting opportunities, I would like to have him. Trossard is also a decent shout, but I feel he might be rested a little bit more than him. And then the final option is going to be Michael Elise. We can't afford Musiala, but Elise, I feel, covers him off just as well. But again, with that game kind of being a little bit dead, again, I'm not too overly excited. So I think the picks probably are going to be either Moreno, Yamal, or probably Elise as in terms of our replacements. Moving on then quickly, let me just bring it up for a quick second. Heading into how the team is going to look with, of course, our transfers in. If it loads correctly for us, there it is. Wonderful stuff. Let me just quickly shift that up. So as you can see here, we do have Trent in there. We've got Elise and we've got Yamal. Like I said, it probably is going to be these two. Maybe we have a fun pick and maybe we drop Yamal because we've already got that kind of Barca position covered. And we go for somebody, if I can spell his name correctly, Moreno, where is he? Mike Moreno, like that. That could be the move that we do go for. I think that would be quite fun. Obviously, I feel very, very comfortable with the rest of the team and how it is lining up heading into this week. As well, I feel like Lewandowski is going to be our captain for February the 11th. He has the top betting data for anytime goal scoring odds, so I think we're going to go with him. He's also got a fantastic record against Benfica, one of his favourite clubs to score against in the Champions League as well. I feel the consensus pick probably for the February games, not the February games, the Tuesday game, sorry, is going to be Rafinha. He's probably going to be the one. In terms of your games on the second day, it's a lot more open. I wouldn't really like to call where it's going to land. Maybe somebody like Mbappe, but I don't think that game is going to be very easy to predict. Maybe a gamble on somebody like Morgan Rogers. However, if I was to gamble with captaincy, I think I would prefer to gamble on the first day rather than the second day. There's so many more interesting picks on that day rather than the second one. But for me, I think I'm going to go Lewandowski. I think those two are probably going to be the transfers. Maybe Elise, maybe Yamal in there. If we get news that Çalhanoğlu is going to play, he could also slot into that one. But I think Trent is going to be the kind of pick. I think, you know, it would be nice to get Saliba in there considering how strong Arsenal have been defensively this season. But, of course, they're already quite comfortably through. So I think one of them potentially could be replaced. And we've also got David Raya already in there as well. But I think the triple up potentially could be a little bit extreme on that one. That is how my team is lining up heading into match day 12. Of course, if you've got any questions about your team as well, get them in the comments as we'll try to answer as many as we possibly can. But thank you for watching today, ladies and gentlemen, and good luck in match day 12.